Welcome to the solo Nightfall run. This week we are on the Summoning Pits. Modifiers are Arcburn, Light Switch, Angry, Nightfall, and Epic. At first I thought this was going to be really brutal because the Summoning Pits on higher difficulties is actually... it's kind of tough for a lot of people. So I thought Arcburn was just going to suck because wizards kill so fast already, and the knights and their boomers can just blow you the hell up. Thrall melee hits are also a one-shot because not only do they do more damage because of Light Switch, but they also do 300% more damage because of Arcburn. Now, I have an arc damage primary weapon. It's called Fatebringer, and it only comes from the hard mode raid from Templar. Obviously, not a lot of you are going to have this weapon, and I feel like that would really cheapen the experience if I was using an arc primary, so I equipped my old Lord High Fixer in my primary slot instead to show that it's still totally possible without raid weapons. My other weapons are Patience and Time, Exotic Sniper Rifle, not fully upgraded, and a Zombie Apocalypse Arc Damage Heavy Machine Gun. Any arc damage sniper will do, and any heavy machine gun will be fine. You'll probably be okay, even with rare quality ones, as long as they're fully upgraded. So I'm doing this as a Striker Titan, and some people might be wondering why I'm using that instead of a Defender Titan, seeing as I have the potential to get blown up at nearly any time. And the reason is because of flashbang grenades. Flashbang grenades stun your targets for a very long time. Not only that, they do arc damage. So they are ridiculously good for a part that's coming up for wizards, and just stunning any very, high value targets. And I'd rather be proactive than reactive, because Ward of Dawn's very reactive in nature. So, I'd rather have those grenades and just, study the Nightfall a couple of times and prepare myself for when I know a lot of enemies are going to be showing up. So that's why I use flashbang grenades. And I have armamentarium as well, which means I have access to 2 of them. So that's very nice. So this first room is a challenge. You'll see on the third wave why it's such a picky spot. This first wave, first we're gonna have some thralls come up, a combination of cursed thralls and regular thralls, and then we're gonna have a pack of 4 knights, 2 of them ascended, 2 of them hallowed. So this first patch, I just kind of stay in the back here, and I pick off the thralls as they're coming up. Try and blow up the cursed thralls on anything that's near them. You don't want to get them too close to you. Hallowed thralls, definitely want to take those out as well. I take them all out with a grenade. This one gets a little too close to me, but we're just gonna take them down. You always want to be wary, especially with those thralls. Now here's where the knights are coming down. They drop down from that ledge right there. I was a little late to the party because the thralls had chased me out, but they do show up there as soon as you kill all the thralls. And so that's where you're going to want to chuck your grenade or burn them down like I do right here with my heavy machine gun right there. Close call. Let them get a little too close. So that's the end of the first wave. As soon as you kill those 4 knights, they are dead. They are dead. Of course they're dead. Jeez, I'm an idiot. That'll start the next wave. So the next wave right here brings a bunch of acolytes. They're all going to jump down from where I just was doing that little with my gun there. Ton of them are going to jump down. Chuck a nade. Boom. A lot of dead bodies. And you're also going to have 2 knights, one of them hallowed, one of them ascendant. And you're going to have 2 wizards, one of them ascendant, one of them hallowed. These, you should definitely be careful. The knights are both melee knights, so if you're staying back where I am, they're not going to come close to you. If you start to get in their face, then yeah, they're actually going to run after you and try and slap you up. Here, I'm taking it a little cautiously. That kind of glowy effect, by the way, that's on my screen right now, is the effect from Patience and Time, where if you're aiming down the scope of it, you go stealth, so the enemies can't see you, which is actually kind of nice for this. But here come the wizards, so right now I just want to back up because I don't want to fight them both at the same time. You'll notice I'm using this doorway a lot, and that's what you should be doing. So, just take your time. You don't need to rush this. Find those wizards. Try and bring them down as fast as possible. The knights, they're not really going to come after you that much. but you should still kind of take them out whenever they're in the open, especially when they're free kills. The wizard, I'm getting fed up with the wizard, so as soon as I see it out in the open, I just burn it down with my machine gun. They'll tend to kind of fall back if they lose their shields, or they'll hide behind something and try and regen. But if you ever catch them out in the open, just annihilate them with whatever arc damage that you have. So we're just finishing up these knights here. The next wave will start even if there's a knight or two still up. This one, just I see coming flying across my screen, and I was like, holy crap, get away from me. But he backs off. You definitely do not want to be in the middle of the room while ads are spawning. So I just kind of leave him be because he's not really doing anything. We're going to have a bunch of Cursed Thralls and Hallowed Thralls coming up. These are the ones that explode. So you want to definitely stay as far back as possible. And this is the big wizard wave. There's going to be 4 Hallowed Wizards, one of them being the named wizard. And they're kind of tough if you're not ready for them. There's also going to be a Hallowed Knight with a boomer that's going to drop down right in front of where I'm looking right now, that you really need to look out for, because if you're not watching him and you're watching only the wizards, right there, nope, sorry, that was the Ascendant, you'll see me kill him, but you're always going to be wanting to look for those wizards. They should spawn close to when you're done killing all the ads. Right here, I just try and do as much damage as possible. There's the Hallowed Knight. It almost kills me because I wasn't paying attention, so you really got to look out for that one. Eventually, the wizards are going to come up. They're all chilling in the back. Throw one of my grenades, distract one of them. And right now, the objective here is to just burn the wizards as fast as humanly possible. You can see how my flashbang grenade really, really helps. Only one of the wizards even gets some shots on me. If you can kind of peel them away, like if you see them at first when they spawn out of the door, and you can peel one of them away, that's great, because it's just going to be one less that you have to deal with. And otherwise, you're just going to want to burn them down as fast as possible. I wouldn't recommend sniping. You know, I recommend the heavy stuff for the wizards, because they are going to be the main thing that blows you up. So after you kill all those wizards, you know, you can just finish off the rest of the ads, and we're moving on to the next part. That's Phogoth. You know, there's nothing really in between here. I kill all the enemies, obviously, right in front of here, which is an Ogre and a Hallowed Knight, just because I don't want to die, and I don't want to do this again. Flashbang Grenade does a big chunk of damage. There's also some Thralls, 3 of them to be exact, maybe 4 of them, and a Hallowed Thrall that you need to take care of. You know, you don't have to push up. You know, take your time, make sure all the Cursed Thralls are dead. Because, fun fact, they explode for arc damage. Of course they do. So you do not want to be near one. You never want to be near one, but you especially don't want to be near one because it's arc damage. Chuck another nade. Ogre goes down. Hallowed Knight goes down with some headshots. He thinks he can hide. What are you going to hide behind the shield? I can see you. Anyway. Moving down to Phogoth now. All this stuff you can totally skip. I don't skip the 2 Hallowed Knights that are right before Phogoth's room just because they use boomers, and you know, you don't want to be running in and both of them shoot you at the same time and then you got to do all this crap over again. So definitely kill those 2 Hallowed Knights, but otherwise you can just run straight to Phogoth's room like you're going to see me do. I don't have anything to say right now. So the Knight, you know, I just kind of whiz past. It can be either a Knight or a Wizard that comes out of there. The Wizard I'd probably actually take down just because it has some range. Not to say that the Knight doesn't either, but the Wizard is much more deadly in my opinion. So these are the 2 Knights I was talking about. You know, definitely want to kill them. Pop a whole bunch of damage on them. They'll drop a shield like a Hobgoblin, and you can just run around and pop them. So Phogoth's room, what you're gonna want to do is kill everything in the room. You can play this super safe. You do not need to activate Phogoth. Kill all those Ascendant Thralls. The Ascendant Thralls actually are the biggest threat here because they will just totally sneak up on you and just bip you. And then you'll have to do all this over again. So take your time here. The Sniper Rifle works great here to pick off a lot of those Ascendant Knights that are kind of sitting up on those ledges and whatnot. And, you know, if there's anything near you like there is right now, you notice me back up. Back way the hell up. Do not be afraid to back up. Use that room, because this room that we're in right now doesn't spawn anything while we're just clearing ads. Stuff only spawns in here when you're fighting Phogoth, which, by the way, we will not be using that room because we really don't need to. 3 Hallowed Knights, going to be down low in that little area before they start spreading out and, you know, starting to really cause some chaos. So I pop a lot of damage on them with a flashbang grenade, and then just burst them down with my heavy machine gun. So before you start Phogoth, you definitely want to check out the entirety of the room, especially because a lot of those acolytes, they do carry boomers, and boomers, basically, if you don't know why they're bad, it's because they deal arc damage right there. And you're going to see me almost get got when I'm coming up here. 2 of these guys up here have boomers, and they're both shooting me at the same time. I don't care how weak they are, it only takes a couple of shots to get killed. Even right here, cutting it close. So make sure to check out the entirety of the room before you start Phogoth. So Phogoth's actually not that bad. We're going to start the fight here momentarily. I pop a lot of sniper damage on him just because, you know, you're not going to get a lot of time where you can just stand still and freely get damage on him. But Phogoth is not too bad. I have only gotten 1 dropship during the Phogoth fight. Every time that I've done the Nightfall solo, I've done it 4 times. 2 of them for loot, 2 of them to just practice. You know, you're going to have your regular ads spawning out the top door, the acolytes, the thralls. Just take care of them. They're not a big deal. They're a one-shot with a regular hand cannon, fully up-leveled to 300. Up-leveled. Upgraded, if I could speak. You don't have to start on Phogoth right now. Just clear all the ads, make sure everything is safe. And then once your radar is clear, that's when you can start pumping damage on him. I decide to wait because the dropship shows up. It's going to be 3 thralls and an Ascendant Knight. Not a huge deal. Chuck a nade and whee! There they all go. So now we can start damage on Phogoth. And, you know, I try and sneak in some snipes whenever I can. His beam does void damage, so, you know, you can tank a lot of that damage while you're popping shots on him. But otherwise, you know, just keep using your heavy on him. I waste a lot of my, well, I don't waste it, but I pop a lot of my sniper damage on him. I try and use it all up before I switch to my heavy. By the way, you should probably bring a couple of ammo packs with you. A couple of special, a couple of heavy, because, you know, I have much more capacity for my heavy weapon than most players have just because of my raid armor. So after that first dropship, you're going to have eventually some more ad spawning, a lot of acolytes, a lot of, or some knights. You can see I just chucked a nade at a couple of them. These are not a big deal. I actually never got the wizard wave. Normally, if you're doing this on a higher difficulty, you're going to get a wave of a couple of wizards. And if anyone does Zyor, you know that 3 knights can spawn from basically the doorway that I'm right in front of or right below. And I never actually got to the part where those knights spawned. And I think that's because they spawn based off of how many ads you've killed. So, like, you can see there's a whole bunch of stuff still up in the back area, but it never came close to me. So, I think those wizards and that knight pack is tied to how many enemies that you kill. So, honestly, you could probably ignore a lot of those enemies just like I did and just focus all your energy on Phogoth. And you can see, you know, I didn't even have to use an ammo pack. I still had a lot of heavy ammo. Obviously, if you're not raid geared, then you're not going to have as much capacity as I do, so you just pop an ammo pack and you're good to go. That's the Nightfall solo. The 2 times I did run it. Good lord, can I learn how to talk, please? I got Truth, exotic rocket launcher, and I got an Epitaph, whatever it's called, void damage. And my Warlock's not high enough level to run it. But there you go. There's your Nightfall. 12 minutes, 25 seconds. Pretty quick. If I was using Fatebringer, let's just say I had a run that was under 10 minutes that I did yesterday. So if you have a Fatebringer, it's going to go a little bit faster just because you can kill stuff a little bit quicker. But I'm sure if you have a Fatebringer, you don't really need my advice. For the other classes, Warlocks, Hunters, Warlocks should definitely use Sunsinger to get shields off of Wizards, and Hunters, yeah, it's a toss-up. I'd probably roll with Blade Dancer for the grenades. That's what I did with Titan. But I can definitely see the benefits of using Gunslinger to pop shields quickly. It's just that if you're using an arc heavy, it burns through the shield so quickly that it's probably not a big deal unless Golden Gun one-shots Wizards, which I don't think it does. Other than that, it's just the same play style, just maybe substitute some extra heavy machine gun usage for whenever I might have thrown a grenade, which I don't think was very terribly often. Max out on your recovery and your armor for sure for this place. You do not need agility. Recovery is going to save you way more. And I'll see you guys next week for the next Nightfall, whatever it is. See ya.